don't go. Isn't that funny? There
There
we
you
go.
go. Who all
And
showing up tonight? Do you know?
there's come on, go live. Come on, there we go.
I was gonna say it says you're live on the screen.
Yep, I'm over on Instagram. So on StreamYard, on StreamYard you can hit the live button on the main thing, okay? And yeah, so now we're live on all three, but you have to go specifically to Instagram to you have to go to Instagram to connect the live. Even though you have the link, you have to go to that page once the
Oh,
once the
okay,
Facebook's on.
okay.
Then you have to do another step. So yeah, and but yeah, there's a bunch of guys. A couple guys are sick today. I don't know what's going on. I don't. Some people get in the flu.
I don't know. I feel great.
I haven't. You know, I haven't had the shot, a shot for over a decade for anything,
Yeah.
and I've not had anything.
The
Any of
last
the
shot I got
no,
was in 18 when which caused Guillain-Barré.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
the last time I took a shot.
yeah. Neither one of us have had a shot in over a decade, and haven't seen anything that anybody has seen in the last decade. I'll leave it.
Right,
We'll leave it at that level, right?
right.
But yeah, people that are getting different kinds of flus and things. I'm sorry. But a couple guys are going to be off tonight. Two of them are two new guys, two bigger guys.
Oh, okay.
They're not going to be able to make it tonight. They sent notes that they won't be able to make the show, and some guys are going to be a little bit late, if you will, but
Sure.
it's all good.
Oh, yeah.
So how did your day go?
My day went very well. I made a couple of got my videos and all that done and made some new contacts, reached out to a couple people. And so yeah, had a rather good day. My last video uh was you tired of being on your pharmacist Christmas card list.
Oh, there you go.
And then I had to go through a class on TikTok to erase one of my violations.
Oh, really? They actually have a
Yeah,
class
that's
now?
the first I'd seen that.
Really? So it's
So I
kind
was
of
like,
like,
yeah, it's like get out of jail free. I mean, I went through it. It's a 5 question. It's kind of BS,
yeah.
and it'll take my strike away in 14 days, as long
Oh,
as I don't get any more violations.
okay.
But it's the same video that's been violated twice.
Okay.
And it's the lazy way that I was talking this morning. That
Yeah,
video has been taken down and it's not even up for consideration both times. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to remake that or not, or if I'm even going to try at least for 14 days.
sure. Isn't it
But
harder? It's almost harder to tell the truth about things than it is to circle around it, isn't it?
oh, it truly is. I mean, it truly
Your
is,
life.
George.
The two of us, between the two of us, you literally left the breathing.
Yeah.
I should have left the breathing. John would have left,
Yep.
and but to talk about it and tell the truth, you got to talk in code, right?
Yep. I remember the day I got diagnosed. I went to my dad's. He checked my blood sugar and said, I think you need to go to the doctor." I said, "Okay." So I ran over to the doctor, and he goes, "Whoa, it's too high. You can't drive." So I said, "Okay." So I called a friend, "Come get me, take me to the hospital." And I sat there, literally watched him, my doctor, drive away, pass by, wave to me, and then kept right on driving. And I'm thinking, I should just go get in my car. I really should just go get in my car and go to the hospital. and he was bigger than I was. I mean, he was a healthy boy, and my dad, it was the same doctor as my dad had, and my dad loved him, and I couldn't stand him.
Yeah,
I couldn't stand him. My dad actually walked out on him once.
sure,
He sat there for a while and he got up and left, and the doctor called, well, what's going on? It's like, my time's money too. I can't sit here all day. He owned his
sure.
own business as an accountant,
Yeah.
and but yeah,
So
it
when they were talking about looking at your numbers, were you on an insulin at that time? Were you on a gauge or a pump or
when
how?
when I first got diagnosed, when I was in the hospital, I was on insulin to bring it down. But once I left, my doctor said, just gave me a slew of meds and then left the insulin off. And then I went back a month later to test and see how things were going. And then she put me on insulin.
Okay,
And at that point, it was a much smaller dose than what it was there towards the end.
okay.
But
Now, did you ever have your testosterone or other hormones checked?
they never did any of that. And I didn't know to ask, to be honest with you, George. I mean, I know now, but I know I looked at my medical records because I had them email them to me so I could bring them to Florida with me. My triglycerides 6 months ago were 335. And right before I left at that 90-day mark, it had dropped to 100.
Oh, nice.
And I'm certain it's gone down since then.
Sure.
I'd almost bet money on it, but I
Yeah,
don't go back to the doctor now down here till March, sometime in the middle of March.
sure. Now, had you noticed anything going on? I mean, when you got diagnosed with the diabetes side, well, hey Andrea, hey Kenny, hey Jennifer, hey everybody, love you. When you when you when you were before you actually got on this, because you were diagnosed how many years ago?
25.
25. So
Back when I was 30 years old.
what led into even that diagnosis? Do you remember it all?
I was going to the bathroom a lot. And that's when I called my dad and said, I'm going to the bathroom all day long. I mean, I could almost stand at the urinal, taking it in and letting it flow out at the same
Yep.
time. And my dad said, just come on over to the office and let me check something. I said, okay, ran over there, and he tested my blood sugar and he goes, I think you need to go to see the doctor. And I went, okay. So, like I said, I ran over to the doctor and that's when they tested it and it was 600 at that point. And that's when he's like, you can't drive. You're going to have to find somebody to take you to the hospital. I said, okay.
Okay.
Didn't I had no idea what the gravity of that situation meant
Yeah, that
at that
600.
point.
Yeah. That's a freak out. That's a freak. People hit that and they often get stuff that I should have long passed through. So yeah, 600 on the fasting blood glucose. And that was
Yep.
fasting, right?
Yeah.
Cool. But did you have any other, did you now look back at other than peeing all the time, did you have anything else going on?
I was, I noticed that I was extremely tired all the time, no matter what. I could go home, slam a 24-ounce Mountain Dew, and literally lay down and go right to sleep.
Yeah.
It didn't bother me one bit. Um, that's when I started going up and down all night long. And that was when I got prescription glasses. Up until then, I had never worn glasses. And it was about that same time, all of a sudden, the eyesight started going. And
Now,
it was
did you
real
notice
gradual.
what were you doing? What were you doing for work, labor, or whatever? What were you doing?
At that point, I was working at 3M
Okay.
and I was doing a lot of programming for them.
Okay.
And I was working, my work shift was 2 night shifts, and then followed by 2 day shifts. So, I'd work, for argument's sake, Monday night, Tuesday night, have Wednesday off, and then work Thursday, Friday.
Okay. So what were you doing physically? Were you an athlete? Were you exercising
Oh,
or
I
gym
I
or
was I was that back then I was actually try powerlifting.
okay.
And there was a group of us, about 6 of us. I mean, we were in the gym 6 days a week for 4 to 6 hours a day. And yeah, I weighed, I want to say like 225, but I had a 32-inch waist. I mean, I was pretty built. And then once I got diabetes, that we had a kind of a falling out. They wanted me to do steroids, and I said no. And that kind of came to an end. But yeah, I just slowly started gaining, and I got away from the gym because I didn't have the energy for the gym.
Okay.
And yeah, it kind of went downhill from there.
Okay. So did you start to lose some? Did you start your belly? You got larger then?
Oh yeah.
Gain. Now you're still working out, or you're not working out?
I had stopped working out. Um, I just didn't have the energy. And then time crept into it. I was working more hours, and when you're tired all the time, you don't feel like doing anything. You really
Right.
don't. And but yeah, I'd started gaining, and my ex-wife used to call me I was stupid strong. I could just walk up, I pretty much would pick up anything. It didn't phase me a bit. And
Sure.
then probably in my mid 40s, I was struggling, and then I started losing muscle. I noticed it noticeably, and that was about 2 years before I got the Guillain Barre. That really took a toll.
Now, would you say that you were overweight then? You had a lot of visceral fat.
I was about 300 pounds.
So you think what you were losing muscle. So that's your the sarcopenia obesity,
Yes.
losing muscle and gaining size. That's
Yep.
kind of it. I mean, when we talk about sarcopenia, and I suffered from that, is that we lose muscle, and I got down to 143 pounds, but obesity and sarcopenia, people don't think about that because look how big I am. But at one point in time, you think, look, how big I am. Then it's, oh, look how big I am, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Now, as that was going on, how does that was your sleep being affected? Was there
Oh, I, I
stress?
I slept like utter garbage. I had two different prescriptions for to help me sleep, and it got to the point where, and I stopped taking it. The dosage was so high to put me to sleep that I wouldn't wake up to go to the bathroom, if you catch my drift.
Got it.
And that's when I said, nope, I'm done with that. So I just dealt with it. I just, if I was up and down all night, I tried melatonin, I tried all the over the counter stuff, and none of it really did anything.
Sure. So to go, one of the things that testosterone is also a pre levels or a precursor of diabetes type 2, type 1. And also it's an issue because of circulation and things for the other parts of the body. One's the phallus, the penis, one's the feet, one the eyes. And so your vision started getting wonky.
Yep.
Um, did the tent pole have how did that affect anything other going to the bathroom constantly at night doesn't create a very romantic
No.
environment,
No,
right?
I had my excuse me, my legs were swelling. I was getting a lot of pain in my legs, stiffness, and and obviously I had issues in the bedroom as well. Nothing drastic, but it was
It's
there.
noticeable. I mean,
Yeah.
Honestly, it
It's
slows.
hard not to be
Yeah,
honest with you.
exactly. And it affects, so it doesn't, the thing about this, hey, hi, Vicky, great seeing you. Hey, John, well, get on here, John. Hey, Molly.
John,
John, get on here, you
you
bugger.
gotta love him.
Yeah, I know. I love the guy. He's awesome. But you know, those kinds of things are subtle, and
Yeah,
they affect the family. They affect the relationships. It's beyond just me going to the bathroom, right? Going to the
yeah,
bathroom constantly and not getting a good sleep, and not getting the sleep. Then that screws up our rhythm. That
yeah.
increases
It
cortisol.
just
That
kind of
increases stress. That
it.
increases,
Yep.
the one thing that people don't, hormones do not live amongst silently to themselves. They are free floaters everywhere, and they bump into everything. There is not, like, you can't just eat, like, what's that, the potato chip, but you
Oh,
can't
you
eat
can't
just
have
one.
just one.
And they're right, and there's a lot of reasons that is.
Oh yeah.
And I'll bet you, like, I tried eating one
Oh yes. I'm a
and then
victim of
walk away,
their.
right?
I'm a victim of them. It's hard.
Yeah, you eat one, you walk away.
You
But
come.
what have we learned? Hunger always wins. And we're not even
Yes.
hungry. We're not
Yeah.
even hungry for it.
A lot of it, I think, was out of boredom or
Yeah,
that it was there.
yeah,
I wasn't starving by any means, but it's just one of those things that, ooh, look at this. It's like finding something shiny on the ground.
yeah,
Ooh, look at
yeah,
this, and then you eat it.
yeah. Yeah, there's a bowl right there. And I'll walk by. Look, I walked by, didn't have anything this time. I'll just
Yeah.
a couple. Nibble, nibble, nibble. It's like being a bird at a bird feeder. You ever see a bird comes in,
Oh
lands,
yes.
and go away,
They
and then
come
comes
right
back and
back.
goes away. Like, just stay and eat, for God's sakes, right?
Well, and I was that guy that always next to my chair for watching TV or doing whatever, I had my can of nuts, mixed nuts or cashews or and you just sit there. Next thing you know, the bowl's empty, and you're like, "Wow, I didn't think I ate that much, but apparently I did."
Yeah, where did they all go? Do I have
Yeah,
any more? Right?
and I love almonds. I just have them now early in the evening
Yeah,
versus nibbling on them all day long.
perfect. Hey, Rhonda. So when as we're going to the other side, so now you're diagnosed. You're 20, you're 30, and then you went what, 28 years?
20, I went 18 years till I got diagnosed Guillain-Barré. I get another 7 years before I learned the information that you and I both know now, and it had gotten bad. I mean, I was losing feeling in my feet. I was foot wounds that weren't healing. Things that when you're a kid, you step on a nail, you pull the nail out, and you go about your day.
Yeah,
And now I even, heck, just I barely walk anywhere barefoot. And
yeah.
it's not that I can't, I just don't. If I take my shoes off, they're right into flip-flops. And I wear those around the house, and then when I get ready to leave, I put my shoes back on and out the door. And but that foot ulcer that took me away was caused by a flip-flop, and I didn't even realize it. The edge of the flip-flop had worn down, and I
Yeah,
and I wore them every day. I'd sit down, shoes came off, flip-flops
sure.
went on, and I went about my evening and had no idea because I couldn't feel it that it was rubbing on my foot, and it just until it
So
was too late.
the
Yeah,
friction is it that, John? That's the same thing with your foot. Is like on the last one. So improper fitting footwear,
yeah,
and you don't even think about it. Don't even, I mean, if it's your favorite pair,
yeah,
you've had it, you got it wherever, and you've worn it on whatever, and then that friction creates a wound. Then is that the deal?
yep, yep. It caused basically a blister, and um, of my foot, and it was just loose skin. And
Okay.
once they started cutting that away, that exposed everything that was underneath, which you've seen that picture.
Sure. And so what
Um,
happens in when that occurs, all of the tissue around that is suffering because of the capillaries
yep,
have been
no blood flow. So
starving.
yeah, it's
Okay, so that's the
basically
same thing that
this
happens
the
to your eyes. You're and John, you didn't have that with your eyes, but
yeah.
as much as Keith, you had shots in your eyes.
Yes, I was getting injections of two different antibiotics, or I think they're antibiotics. I'm not real sure, but it,
They were stabbing your eyes.
oh yeah, you'd look towards your nose and they'd come in the opposite corner and they just boom that fast. And all you'd see is a little mushroom cloud in the corner of your eye. And it stung. I will admit it stung, and it's hard not to move your eyes when you know it's coming. There was no necessarily pain with the injection, but it was the pain afterwards.
Got it. Sure. John, did you have anything like that visually? Or
Nah,
was
I didn't
yours
have any issues visually. Mine were just like the feet. Now, my wife, she had things like she had to get shots in her eye, but they linked that towards her kidney disease, not sugar problems. So,
okay? But the kidneys filter out sugar, right? I mean, we're gonna say not. I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. Do the
yeah, I
kidneys
know, but
live in a spot where sugar doesn't go? I just
right, but this happened almost 20 years ago that she was getting the shots. So back then we didn't know what we know now about the sugar.
right.
So
No,
it's
yeah. That's
yeah,
kind of the thing I'm in discussing is like we know what we know now. We didn't know it back then, but if we go back and look at how did we get here, going back to the history, was there probably now that we know what we know, was there a probable cause that there
oh,
was ice on the road when we slid off? I mean, it's like
Right.
yeah.
well, that we had an accident. What happened? Well, just the car went off the road. Well, was it icy? Oh, maybe. Oh, no,
Right.
it was dry
No,
pavement.
mine wasn't nice. Mine was just the wrong road, period. Because soda, pastries, candy. Let's see what else. Donuts. I mean,
Oh
you
yeah.
name it. You name it, I ate it. Because back then, they're like, oh, we need a 300-pound lineman, so eat.
Exactly. So
So
as we go through and looking back to hit, I mean, go. It's kind of interesting to look back to see how we got where we were. It's easy to see forward, right? Because now
Right.
we have a solution,
Yep.
and it's well, John, how has it changed you from a before? How are you now from before?
I'm
What's the good
alive.
stuff?
I'm alive. I really do
You're alive.
believe the
Yeah.
way my metabolic health was going, I would have passed away last February. Um, I was on the verge of it. I couldn't see it, but my wife did. I mean, she called our daughter in tears about it, saying that she was going to lose me because I had that Pellis gray look to me, and I couldn't see it. And I'm sure Keith
You had the
was
great
there
color.
too,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah, I'm sure Keith was there because he did die. He was pronounced dead for almost a minute, and they brought him back.
Yeah.
And which I'm very thankful for because Keith is an awesome man. But the thing is like with me, I never saw it. And I did what the doctor said. I did what the nutritionist said, dietitian said, you eat this, exercise more, take these pills, take these shots, start watching your weight. Well, weight wasn't changing on the scale, but I never put two and two together. My belly is getting bigger. My cheeks are getting fatter. My neck's getting fatter. Yeah. And like you said earlier with sarcopenia, I didn't realize I was losing the muscle because the weight on the scale never changed. And yeah, I didn't go to the gym and keep lifting like I used to. But the thing is when I had an incident at work or something like, because with being former law enforcement, yeah, I picked people up and I'm slammed them on the ground. So I was like, oh, I never lost muscle. When all reality, it was, what's that? When you get surprised and you get that boost of what's that?
Oh, adrenaline.
Adrenaline. Thank you. I couldn't think
There
of
we
the
go.
name. I get that boost of adrenaline, and I pick people up twice my size and slam them on the ground if I had to. because you don't put two and two together about when you're in those stressful situations and like your cortisol spikes and all that kind of stuff. And you lose your motor skills and so survival mode kicks in and you don't put two and two together. At least I didn't for 25 years. I don't know about you guys, but
I know I didn't. I made comment last night with Dr. Dieter. It was Yvette. I've learned more in 7 months than I ever learned in 25 years.
right.
Oh yeah.
It has truly been eye-opening. And once you start seeing it, it's hard not to. You
Yes.
see it everywhere. Things start making sense. Things start clicking. And it changes your whole vision of everything.
Yeah, it's so hard to walk through the grocery store and see that mother with the two kids or whatever walking down the cookie aisle. Like, "No, can we get these? Can we get these?" They're all, yeah, go for it. And you're like, no, but it's rude if you jump in.
Yeah, and the buggy or the shopping cart or whatever you call it in your world, on the upper rail, the upper rail is what?
Right.
Sodas. They figured out how to
all
take
the levels of what kids seeing.
it looks like Legos on the top.
Yeah.
And there's in the bottom I observed this just like you guys. There's enough room because there's 3 for $10 or some number sale, right? And so that you can put 3 boxes of the 24 and put them too high. Take the bottom. Now that used to be where maybe potatoes would go. Now it's soda, and then there's a rim of soda.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you've ever seen this, but then behind that person is another person on a little scooter cart that has just as much wrapped around it, right? Or maybe the scooter
I was on that scooter cart.
Yeah,
I was on that scooter cart at one point, riding around Walmart, and I felt completely emasculated riding that little buggy around.
Right.
That I wanted to just get what I needed and get out.
Now, did you have
that?
Did you have the wall of Mountain Dew around or anything like that, or you?
I did. I was the Mountain Dew Zero guy because Zero's got to be better than.
Well, it's got to be better, right?
Rather than leaded version.
You would think, but the way it's going today, a regular might be better than the Zero.
Keep learning more. So you're a Mountain Dew. John, were you a Mountain Dew guy, or what were you?
Oh, I was a heavy Mountain Dew drinker years ago. I mean, that's what caused my diabetes. Back when I was in high school doing powerlifting, football, all that, it's back in the day when you can go to the vending machine in the school, put $1 in the machine, and you got out a 1 liter, not a 20 ounce, a 1 liter. And I drank 2 or 3 of those when I was at school.
Really?
Yeah. And then my dad's girlfriend at the time was his store manager for 7-Eleven. So all the old donuts or the stuff that they have to get rid of, she'd bring it home. And the next thing you know, there's 4 or 5, maybe 6, 2 more liters of Coke or Mountain Dew. So back in the day, I was drinking probably close to 4 to 5 liters of Mountain Dew a day.
Oof.
Yeah, I know how I became diabetic now.
Right.
25 years ago, I didn't know and I didn't see it because they don't teach you that. So,
yeah, my last binger was Dr. Pepper came out with cream soda.
Oh yeah, I do like the Dr. Pepper cream soda. It is good.
Yeah, that became my, other than going to the one bakery store that everybody knows, because you could pay $12 and you could go every 4 hours and get another refill. I know where every one of those stores was from Iowa to Indiana. Because I was doing audits. I was doing audits at those in the area of all those stores, and so I knew where everyone was. And I could have had coffee, sure, but why?
Right? Why? It's free.
Why waste a perfectly good cup? And it was such that they just looked at me when I'd walk in. He's back. I didn't get another cup. I just walked in with my same cup. It was like he's back.
Third back.
Every once in a while, I'd get one of those pastry things, just so that wasn't a complete loss leader for him.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my gosh,
I was an apple fritter guy.
were you?
Well,
If there was an apple fritter, there wasn't for long.
you guys know that I spent the last week down in El Paso because of my daughter having her baby and all that.
Yeah,
Well, while we're down there, my son-in-law, he just couldn't grasp the idea of how me and my wife, we can go all day long drinking our teas, drinking our water, and not eat. And then when we did eat, we ate what those guys ate with throughout the whole day. We ate it all at one time in one meal in the
yeah,
proper food order. And they're
yeah,
like, how can you do that? I mean, I can't eat more. I got to eat 2 hours and eat a little bit and I'm full. And I got to eat 2 hours later. I'm like, that's because you're training your body to be in survival mode. You're training it to not convert and burn the way and operate the way it needs to. And they just could not grasp that concept, which is
yeah.
sad to say, because all it's going to do eventually is hurt them. But you can lead the horse to the trough, but you can't make them drink. So
Exactly. One thing that I talked with Dr. Bobby about today, and we were talking about the things you can do naturally to get more control, for the testosterone.
mhm.
Because if we get more sleep, that helps. Why? Because that helps lower stress. If we meditate, do the method, or do any kind of calm, serene, get away from the blue lights, right?
Mm-hmm.
That helps what? That brings down the cortisol, which also is a pressor for for insulin resistance, for testosterone lowering. So those are some things. And then eating, like we're just talking about, if we think about this, and that's what a trigger thought, because I'm 74, so I know the before the 70 food world. We ate. Just think about this. Your parents, grandparents, my parents, and everybody else. We ate when it was sunny. We ate in the morning, it was sunny, and we ate at evening. It was still sunny. Now people eat
Oh
dark
God, 24 hours a day.
and continue. I mean, even then that's a difference. When not only how often we, but when do we eat? And that natural sunlight helps to trigger and control. So we naturally want to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we've done for centuries. I mean, for centuries, other than the guys that were having the orgies and all the other kind of kingly stuff, us peasants, we ate when it was food.
Hey, you may be a peasant. I was a jester. Come on.
I maybe I would have been a servant, so I got a snack maybe, but a serfs, right? Us serfs ate when food was available, and we were eating in the sunlight because we didn't have light. We didn't have evening light. We may have, eventually there was oil and lamps and candles and stuff, but you still weren't, coming home.
And they ate whole food. I remember as a kid with my grandma down in Arkansas, I would walk with her to the garden and we'd pick green beans and we'd pick, what we were having that night.
Yep.
And she'd wake up in the morning and go out and get fresh eggs, pretty much fresh out of the butt.
Yep.
And that's everything. And, and then of course the giant can of lard right next to the stove. But we don't eat like that anymore. It's all ultra processed, ultra basically stripped of everything good.
Right. So when you start looking at some of these things, what do you guys think about the whole idea of protein? Are you guys eating more protein? Are you eating the same amount of protein? Or is it more the order of food? Is that really fixing things?
I've actually increased my protein intake, but the thing is I've changed my protein around. Instead of doing like protein shakes, protein drinks, protein bars, it's more animal-based protein, like your chicken, your beef, your salmon. And like when it comes to beef, like people are like, oh, you got to have that 96% beef and 4% fat. No, actually, I started buying the 80%, 20%. trying to get more of the fat in it. Now, it may not be the ideal fat, but it's better than the low fat. So I've noticed with mine, it's been better that way. But I did start doing the stronghold with the protocol, and I've noticed a big difference with that. And then I did do the LC Pro a little bit, just to kind of help my foot heal a little bit faster with the little injury I got going right now. But it's been doing a lot better since I started doing that. Yeah, yes.
And Keith, I see you oftentimes with the signal, right?
Yeah, I do signal every day. I start, my day starts off tea first thing in the morning. Typically, it's rollover from the night before.
Yeah.
And I may finish that at 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. Then I'll do a signal. Then I'll mix up another tea. But for me, I probably eat 3 times the protein I was eating. And it started with food order mainly. But that first month, I didn't realize all the meds I were taking were breaking my fast. So I was kind of intermittently, wasn't doing it right by any means. And then once that I figured that out, everything changed.
Yeah.
I mean, it truly went almost warp speed. And I went from, I'd be lucky if I ate eggs 1 or 2 eggs once a week. Now I'm eating eggs 3+ times a week, bacon, sausage.
Yep.
I've got a fridge full of salad right now. I always start everything off with my fiber. And what I'm doing now is I'm taking a fiber when I get up. I'll chug a fiber, then start sipping on my tea. I've got 2 bottles, so I use 1 for each.
Yeah.
And that itself has made a world of difference as well.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this is I do too. I'm doing 2 fibers a day as well. I agree. Yep. And so one of the things that it's just so you know, Keith. I mean, we're friends. You guys, people that are watching this, we're really friends. I mean, like we grew up together because we literally have. We're alive together. Mm-hmm. And that's a unique bond. I mean, let's be real. But Keith, I want you to know it's John's fault that I came up with the F-off system.
Yeah, it was.
It's always John's fault.
We're just being goof, but it's true. I created the day that I came up with F-off because you want some free information. I said, you want some free information on how to get well? F-off. And John lost it.
Oh, I did. I lost it that day. I was like, what?
And we went through it. We bantered it. We polished it. But it's, F-off is what? Fasting.
Fasting, the order of
food. Fibers, fats, protein. Now, people, the joke is that protein starts with the P, but understand I'm Filipino. And you don't say Filipino. You say Filipino. So protein is an F word.
Well, pterodactyl starts with a P too.
Yeah,
you don't say pterodactyl.
This is true.
So,
but the whole idea is that it's really a true thing. Fasting order of food.
It is.
Fat, fiber, fiber, fat, protein.
And so that's one of the things that did really surprise me about doing this was how legit that food order really is. I thought it was bogus when I first heard about it. And I'm like, well, hey, what do I got to lose trying? Because, I've done everything else the doctors want me to do. I've done this, done that, done this, took this, did that. Nothing worked. Yeah. So I'm like, what do I got to lose? And then when it actually worked, oh, man, it blew my mind.
Yeah, exactly, now John. I had no clue.
Yeah, I'm like, what, a year and 7 days now on this protocol. 8 days, sorry. A year and 8 days. And I haven't gone back. Yeah. I'm still healthy. I'm no more medications at all. There wasn't for still. So,
I'm loving it.
It works.
Yeah. Guys, I want to introduce you to Sam. Sam,
hey
this is
Sam.
And this is John.
Yeah. I've seen him plenty of times.
Yeah. And Sam, we're talking about all kinds of things. We've been over order food. Hey, Carly, nice seeing you, girlfriend. We'll get you on the squares. But anyway, so we've been talking about testosterone and food and rest and sleep and all the different kinds of things. Sam, Ellie, Jennifer says hi too. We've been talking about those things. Now, when you well, real quick, give the guys a little heads up of how you figured out that you had an issue.
Yeah, so I was it's been a year for me too. Last January, I was finding myself driving a travel trailer, delivering a travel trailer from Indiana via Arkansas, where we live. And then on the 1st of January, I took off to Santee, California. And I get out to Santee and deliver the unit and get me something to eat. And then I'm traveling, heading back home. And I think, oh, I forgot to log my hours coming home. And I go to log my hours, pull off of an exit. It's about dark, and pull off of an exit. And I find myself not knowing how to log my hours on my app that I've logged hundreds, if not 1,000 hours on this app. I didn't know how to do it. I'm looking at it like blank, like I don't know what to do. And it's not like, honey, where's the keys? Or, hey, where's my wallet at? Or why am I in the room? It was something more serious than that.
Mm-hmm.
I was learning, I was processing thought was getting very, very difficult. And so I literally, man, I panicked. You know, I buried my aunt, 18 years older than me, 2 years ago with Alzheimer's. And my grandfather, we buried him at 87 with Alzheimer's, and he had 9 siblings. They all died of Alzheimer's. And, you know, and of course I understand now that I've studied it, now that I understand it better. We just all ate the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, the genetic proposal was the food that we were eating. You know, we were all eating. We were raised in a Hispanic family. You know, a lot of tortillas and a lot of the stuff that just, you know, wasn't a lot of healthy stuff. And unfortunately, I found myself in a mess and pleading with God and praying out there in the desert. And I'm not talking about just God is good, God is great prayer, man. I'm talking about out wrestling with God in the desert, asking Him to lead me, guide me, and show me what I needed to do because I was in trouble. And that's where I found the protocol on TikTok video. And I was able to reach out to Megan O'Brien and Megan Anne Marie and Megan Groff. They started pouring into us and teaching us and learning about the protocol. And I heard somebody when I first got on, I heard one of you guys say that you've been able to sustain or maintain after a year, you know, the benefits of what this is doing. And that was the biggest thing I was concerned about. Could I not only, you know, I took 55 pounds off in 90 days, which is fabulous. Um, I reversed my type 2 in 120 days from a 7.1 to 5.5. Awesome. But I got this back again. And that was huge. But the question I was still asking, was I going to be able to sustain? Was I going to be able to maintain what I was doing long term? Because I'd never been able to do that before. I'd start something, I'd get on the little diet thing, and pretty soon I'm on and I'm off. And I'm back, you know, gained 20, 30 pounds back, you know. But this I've continued to lose a little at a time, but it's sustainable, man. I can do this. It's easy. It's not difficult, and I can still enjoy some of those foods that I love. You know, I
Absolutely.
don't have to change all of that, and that's what I love the most about it. But it has changed our life. As a matter of fact, my 20-year pastoral ministry, we resigned from that in 17, and I'd really been curious to how God was going to use me, you know, because you have that heart for helping people, changing lives, you know, one story at a time. That's what you've been about for so long. How was I going to do that again? And this is what this protocol has done for me. Not only have it changed my health, but my desire now is just to reach out and touch as many people and help them understand metabolic health and what's going on and what happened in my life and how I can pay that forward and help
Great.
somebody else.
Sam, think about when you think about take us back to before you were when were you ever diagnosed, if you were diagnosed as a diabetic? What led up to that? How did you get there?
So yeah, you know, if I would have known what I know today, okay, when I turned 50, all right, just for reference, I turned 64 last August, so I'll be 65 this August. So when I was 50 years old and I was pastoring in Columbia, Missouri, I had to go get my cataracts at 50 years old. I had to have cataract surgery, and of course we know now what sugar does, a high volume of sugar, what it does to your eyesight. And of course, I didn't know it then. So I had been struggling, migraine headaches. I'd have to go to the emergency room and get shots. Mine were so intense. So and that's in my 50s. And so, I started, and now that I look back, I can see all those symptoms and understand it clearly. But back then, I had no idea. I had no idea that was going on. I was gaining more weight. I was, probably 270, and just gaining weight. I'm about 215 today. So, George, I was just really struggling in a lot of areas, but I was already starting to be dealing with this even back
Were you
then.
at 50?
Yeah.
And in our conversation, Sam, you have a large family that suffered from the brain fog, then into dementia and death, and so that you're very aware of that, going into that, and that really brought you to your knees. You're praying that wasn't your path, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah, I seen what my grandmother went through with my grandfather, and my grandfather was like my dad. I was raised in a very dysfunctional home when I was younger, due to a stepfather that had a
Right.
lot of mental issues. So, my grandfather raised us, and so he was like my dad. But for him not to know who I was or who my sister was, as he started really getting bad, and to see my grandmother just go through that. I was like pleading with God. I don't want Carlene. I don't want my wife to go through that. I don't want my daughters
Right.
or my grandchildren to go through that. Show me. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a ticket out of this thing. And
Right.
man, he opened heaven's window up for me, man, and I just was so grateful.
Yeah, and Carly is really a great egg. I mean, she's just a lot of fun.
Oh
Guys,
yeah,
I've met her, and
42 years we've been married.
she's sweet. We love it. Say, Jaime, tell me, how was there anything that brought you into the protocol that affected you one way or the other once you got into it?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'm driving, so I'm not looking at y'all directly, but well, nothing brought me into it except Bobby just told me to try it. So I guess I was like a guinea pig or something. I don't know. I just did it, and I mean, because I had no knowledge about this until Bobby, right? So he just told me that I could lose weight, and I was like, yeah, sure, let me try it. So I did it, and I wasn't taking it serious, and I was gonna quit. And until my wife told me that she sees that I'm losing weight, and I'm like, I am. So that's when she got curious and asked Bobby, like, what am I taking? And he explained to her it's all natural. It's just yerba mate, and she was, she was very skeptical at first, but we trust Bobby because he's our, family pharmacist, and we live next door to each other. So as soon as she started doing the protocol with me, man, I just like improved so much. I started dropping a lot of weight, and so did my wife. So that's how I ended up in the protocol. So basically, honestly, I was not aware of what it could do. I didn't hear about it from TikTok. I didn't hear only from Bobby, and because he's a pharmacist and he knows about metabolic health,
Now,
so that's why I got it.
Now your bride, and you guys, you all got great brides. Keith, you're like me, but you met Cheryl. But anyway, the thing about your bride noticed something about you, didn't she?
Oh yeah,
Jaime.
yeah. She noticed that I was cutting the grass because I don't cut the grass, and I pay somebody to do it. I have been doing that for a long time, ever since I was in 2014, 2015, because I was Bobby's next door neighbor, and he would pay somebody to cut his grass. I'm like, I ain't gonna keep up with his landscaper because my grass is gonna look awkward next to his. So I would always pay somebody. So ever since 2014, I had been in pain, and then until last year, I started doing my grass like constantly. My wife was like, "What the hell's wrong with this guy?" Because he never cursed the grass. So she saw that, and she saw that I was energetic, and um, let's just say that I would wake up like a
Yeah,
teenager every
you were
wake up like
cutting
a teenager every morning.
you were doing the lawn. You were doing the lawn.
Yeah, I was doing a lot, and then also where I noticed my T
Perfect. I love
level
it.
is waking up like a 18-year-old again. So that was another thing that
Perfect. I
I
love it.
noticed.
I love it.
So that was that's all part of testosterone. So because I was ever since I got
Yep.
out of when I came back from Iraq, I was like 23 or 24 years old, and they saw my T levels, my testosterone level, and they said it was pretty low, that I shouldn't be going through this at such a young age. And I have been suffering since I was 23, and I'm about to be 47. So I have been suffering with that. I took the blue pill. The blue pill didn't really work. It would give me a stuffy nose. But this stuff, it worked like awesome, really awesome. So
Absolutely. We love it. And Sam, one of the things that all of us know, I've been on not a year yet. Keith's been on not a year or just about a year. John's been just over a year. And you've been on the protocol for how many months?
About a year. Yeah.
About a year. And Jaime,
Yeah.
you've been on a good year. And
it'll
it's
be
sustainable.
around.
It's easy and
Yeah,
simple.
I started like around June
Yeah.
or May or June, somewhere around there. But
Yeah.
the the only thing I'm not liking about it right now is that I'm starting to grow hair on my head. I know that may be a plus. That may be
Please
a plus
no.
for some people, but for me, I don't like growing hair on my head anymore because I don't want to pay a barber. I'm not liking that part.
Just shave it, trim it
So
up
Well,
like a tennis ball, Jaime.
Yeah.
yeah, I like to shave. I've been shaving since I was 16 years old. Uh, because I had a bad haircut, so I was like, let me just shave it all off. And then I joined the military, so I always kept it bald. So, and then I never got used to having hair anymore. And then I started seeing that I was losing hair, and then I was like, because every once in a while I rub my head, and I was like, what the hell is this? It's hair. So I
I'll
asked my
tell you,
wife.
Jaime, get used to it. I'm telling you, I was losing my hair, and I started the protocol, and I'm growing my hair back. So all of you guys, I mean, I know that some guys don't want to have that. I get it. There are razors, okay?
Don't toy with my
Because
I
emotions,
know.
George.
I don't think any of you would trade being bald for not having the flagpole. So we'll go with it from there, right?
The problem, George,
So
is
it's
I may have to start buying
it's
razors.
hard to get used to it. Like I even had a nightmare that I had hair. I had a nightmare that I had hair, a full set of hair. I was like, I can't have that.
Sounds like he needs to start using that magic 8 ball more often.
Funny. Hey, Andrew, before we drop off, because we've got about 3 minutes to go, because we got to get off because we've got another national call right after this, and it's been a great thing. Andrew, what are a couple of things that you talked to us about, just your understanding now of testosterone and how it affects our guys' lives?
Well, it kind of started for me like 15 years ago. I was having problems with getting enough rest and energy, right? And I had a kind of a double thing going on with me. I had to go on a CPAP and I had to take testosterone. And it's interesting because it helped, but it wasn't the same, right? And it took almost 6 months to get me leveled out to a right dose. And it's funny because I had heard about guys going on the protocol and having their testosterone come back. So I just was like, you know what? I'm done with the injections. I'm gonna I'm going to do this and see what happens. And it was amazing that, within weeks, I was feeling a ton better. I felt like my apnea didn't really start to resolve in about the 4th month. But so when we were expecting our 4th child, I had to go off of testosterone, right? Because they don't want you trying to get pregnant. Well, they don't want you getting your wife pregnant when you're on injections, right? So I had to go off the injections, and then they gave me something else. I can't even remember what it was, to try to boost my natural. And of course it doesn't do enough, or else they'd use that instead of the injections. And so when I went off of testosterone 12 years ago, it was hard. I mean, I could tell I went off of it. When I went off of it this time, drinking that tea, taking that fiber, all I can say is I didn't miss a beat. I actually felt
There
better
you go.
and better.
We love it.
Yeah, that's great.
We love it. So, guys, we're wrapping up because we got 1 minute to go. Real quick, one thing. If you're going to talk to the guys and tell them about the protocol, what would you tell somebody? We'll run around the room. Keith, what would you say? What would you sum things up as?
You got nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. 90-day money back guarantee. It's a win-win. Either you get healthy or you get your money back. It's truly just that simple.
Perfect. John, one thing.
This protocol, so far, I have not found anything that this protocol does not help improve. There's some things that it helps reverse quick. There's some things that it may not reverse as fast, but it does improve whatever situation you're dealing with.
Perfect. Sam.
Yeah, I really want to tell people that, hey, you do not have to rely on prescription medications the way that we do, the way that I did for years. We don't have to do that. There is a simple process, a simple protocol that can help us reduce all that medication that we're taking. And it is effective and it works. And I love what you just said. There's nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Yep.
Great. Jaime, what would you say?
Well, since it's all
Are we
about
on?
testosterone, if you want to feel great again, just try it.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect.
And that's coming from
Andrew.
Border Patrol Batman.
I want to piggyback off that. If you want your energy back and you want to not have to take injections, it's totally worth it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Very much so.
Amen.
Perfect. Guys, thanks for coming on. I know this is going to help somebody. We could probably even save some people's lives. See you next week. Thanks for coming on board. Have a great week.
Have a
Thanks
good
for
one.
having me, George.
Have a great one.
Bye.
See you guys.